I'm back. I landed safely, and boy, did I tell you, it is heating up. It is heating up. I don't know where you are in the world, in what part of the world you're in, but right now it is hot. But that's okay because the sun loves everybody. But while I was away, I actually learned quite a lot. I learned quite a lot, not only just about myself, but just reflection of what I once thought to be true, and breaking those like reflections that I had of myself. Also, just realizing a whole bunch of stuff. You know, if you're hearing this, right, maybe you need to hear this, but I want to give you this anecdote that my mom used to tell me, right, and how it applies to my life. When I have siblings, right, I have two siblings. I have a older brother and a younger sister, right, and I used to, as siblings, we used to fight. And I used to fight my younger sister all the time because she would always mess with my stuff, right? And, you know, as a kid, right, I'm not much older than my sister, but my mom used to always tell me, quit messing around because you're much stronger than you think you are, right? Because I used to think like, I'm just a kid, like my sister and I are on like the same level of strength, right? But my mom used to always say that to me. It's like, you're a boy. You're much stronger than you think you are, right? And I never really like registered that, right? Because I would still play as if we were on the same level of strength, right? And I would end up always accidentally hurting her more than she would ever hurt me, right? But that aside, right? Siblings fight. We fight all the time. Well, not anymore, but we used to fight all the time when we were younger. But now, just thinking back on that, when my mom said that, right, you're a lot stronger than you think you are, right? I mean, that applies to that applied to my entire life, because when I was a kid, it was physical strength, but now as an adult, it turned into my mental strength. I used to have a really weak mental, and I didn't think I was capable of doing a lot of the things that it is that I either wanted to do or had to do, right? I didn't think I was capable of doing certain things, but time and time again I showed myself that I am capable of doing things, because I am a lot stronger than I originally gave myself credit for, right? Whoever's hearing this, right, maybe you like myself, maybe experience like self-doubt. Maybe you question your own ability. Maybe you question where it is that you are or what it is that you're doing, and maybe you find yourself just wondering, like, do I really have the capability of doing this thing that I want to do or have to do, right? And the answer is always yes. You always have the capability of doing the thing that you want to do, that you like, whatever it is that your heart is calling to, that your mind seeks, right? Whatever it is that you want, you are a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for, right? And it's taken me a while to truly like have that resonate with me, right? What my mom said, because maybe it's just me, right? Maybe some other people can relate to this, but I just didn't really listen to my parents, right? Or I would, but it was out of like a fear-based response, right? I never really took what my parents said to me and took it to heart and like applied it, right? Because I didn't think they knew what they were talking about. But what my mom said is true. You're a lot stronger than you think you are. And I see that time and time again, when my mental strength is being put to the test, I find myself, overcoming or, learning as I'm dealing with situations, right? understanding how powerful my mind truly is, right? How powerful your mind truly is, right? Your mind is able to overcome so much pain, so much adversity, so many obstacles, right? Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be here right now. If you're here right now, you have overcame so many things that you either don't give yourself credit for, you either don't acknowledge as being an obstacle, right? Which could be another thing. Maybe you transformed what was an obstacle into something that was easily surmountable, right? All because you have a lot more strength than you realize, right? And this applies to everybody, right? Doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what you are, how you are, right? You are a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for, and you need to start acknowledging that. You need to start seeing that, to start believing that, to start being that you are a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for, right? And I know I said this earlier, right? When I was a kid, that was mostly just physical strength, right? I was like, I'm a lot stronger physically, right? But I've applied that same message to my adult life, and now, and when I hear that, I'm thinking of mental strength, the mental battles that people go through every day, the silent battles that no one, that no one talks about, right? Because everybody's going through something, right? It's just some people are either more publicly vocal about it, or some people just suffer in silence, right? Which is the sad reality, but that's the case for a lot of people, myself included. Yet, even with those silent battles that you are facing, right? Whether it's grief, whether it's, trauma, PTSD, whether it's lust, whatever it is that you're dealing with, right? Just know that you are a lot stronger than those things, those events, those obstacles, those challenges, whatever you want to call them. Because it's all in here. And you have the ability to transform that, to alchemize that pain. And you have the ability to choose. You have the ability to choose what it is that affects you, and how it is that something affects you, right? Which in turn can be seen as mental strength, right? When I said earlier, I talked about myself having a weak mental multiple times in the past, right? Because that's how I perceived myself. I was a very, my brother put it best, I think, a very defeatist mindset. I was a very negative person. I always saw the downside in things. I was quick to quit, very yeah, I don't know how else to put it. I was just very weak mentally, and I just, for a while, I thought that was all I was ever gonna be. But then I started being more optimistic and more forgiving towards myself and towards the things that I wanted to do. Started actually listening to myself. Stopped letting my environment define me, and I realized I had so much more strength than I ever could have realized. And it was all within me the whole time. It was all within me the whole time. I didn't even realize it. So, yeah. If you find yourself struggling, right? If you find yourself going through silent battles, if you find yourself thinking that things aren't going to work out, or things won't work out, or, just whatever it might be, just know that doesn't have to be that way. Because, and hear me when I say this, because you are significantly stronger, much more powerful than you think you are. You just have to find that within yourself. You have to find that power, because it's within everyone. It's within everyone, but you have to find it. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna wrap this off with. I hope that someone was able to resonate with what I had to say. I hope that someone was able to truly realize and understand what it is I'm trying to get across, because I truly believe this. Like, I believe this within my own vessel, that this applies to everybody, right? Some people just either choose not choose. Some people just either are not able to recognize it. Maybe they choose not to recognize it and they stay in a state of comfort, right? But you, whoever's watching this, whoever resonates with this energy, I know you're different. I know you're different. And you have the ability to overcome anything, because you're much stronger in here than you give yourself credit for. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up around here. If you're seeing this, I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself. But the only person who can take care of you is you. And always remember, you are much stronger than you give yourself credit for. Always remember that. Have a good one.